Hi, I'm Chuck Dorsett for Weaver Leather Supply. There's one thing at Weaver that we are not short on, and that is options. So I'm with John Kline. We're going to talk about choosing the best sewing machine for our needs. So John, where are we going first?
We're going to the Cub.
Nice. So John, the Cub, one of my favorite machines. Fill us in. What's a customer looking for when they're going to buy a Cub?
So this machine really hits kind of a niche. One, it doesn't have power. Two, it allows you to sew on the heavier line of things where you can use a heavier thread. And it really hits a niche on, you know, maybe somebody coming from hand stitching their hands are tired.
I love to hand sew, but with this machine, we can sew thick, we can keep the same size thread roughly, and it just cuts our sewing time probably by what, 90%?
Yeah, definitely.
When you got to bump up to a machine, this is the perfect way to go. It's easy to thread, easy to maintain, easy to sew with. Let's see this thing sew.
Well, we have it threaded up already, so we're good there. And honestly, it's ready to sew.
Look at that. And how easy, what do you got, 2 pieces of saddle skirting back to back there?
Yeah, I would say it's probably about, you know, maybe 10 ounces or so. So, you know, you're looking at a little over a ½ inch thick on the thickness.
And it just mows through it, no problem.
No problems.
John, where are we going next?
Well, I think maybe a lighter weight sewing machine.
Let's look at that. Now, John, we've looked at the heavier weight machine, but now we're switching gears. What kind of products are we going to sew on our 303?
So the 303, Chuck, is good for, you know, those lighter weight products. So bags, wallets, purses, but it's more geared towards the lighter weight machines.
Okay, okay.
It's really easy to maintain. You know, it has that oil bath in here, so you don't have to remember where to oil all those different spots.
Okay.
This version comes with a built-in bobbin winder, which makes things a lot easier.
And you mentioned the oil bath. So many machines, we've got just little red marks around holes all over the machine, and we can't miss one of those when we're oiling it, but an oil bath takes care of the machine.
Exactly, and it's easy to access. You know, you tilt the machine back, you can access it, you can see if it's high, low, you know, where you're at, and it maintains itself.
For us crafters, one of our biggest fears is speed of a machine, because if you buy a used machine, they're typically coming out of a production shop and they're set at 1,000 stitches a minute, right? Well, with this, you can get this down to what? A stitch a second or more?
Yeah, the RPMs actually, I think, go down to like 350, but paired with the speed reducer that we put on there, you can just creep along.
Man, that's great, because that's our biggest fear. Can I even control this machine?
Right.
Yeah, at that speed, absolutely we can.
Yeah, so even, I'm gonna turn the machine on, you get a cool LED light with it, and we'll just do a little practice run here. Put it in here and see what happens. So I'm pressing just lightly on the pedal here. And you can just,
look at that.
You can control that however slow you want to. It's just like driving a car, you know, the more you press, the faster you go. Then when you're getting better at it, you know, you can apply more pressure. You know, it allows you to have that low end torque when you need it to get through heavier materials. Like this machine will sew up to, you know, 1/4 inch.
But look at that, that's gotta be 10 or 12 stitches per inch.
Yeah, yeah.
Very nice.
And it is actually heavy enough to be able to do, you know, 1/4 inch, which is a pretty beefy wallet. You know, 1/4 inch is 16 ounces in leather weight, you know, in comparison to that. So it does have the ability to go through that.
All right, John, great machine. So we're gonna step it up now. What are we gonna look at?
We're gonna go to the big 205.
Oh, nice. So what kind of a customer, what kind of a project are we looking at for the Weaver 205?
Yeah, so this is a really heavyweight machine, more geared towards, you know, maybe a saddle repair, saddle worker.
Okay.
And, you know, it will sew up to, you know, 3/4, 7/8 of an inch in some cases.
Wow.
Yeah. We're all threaded up with some white thread on 2 layers of, looks like probably about 9-10 ounce leather.
Okay.
Again, paired with that speed reducer, so you can go really slow. You get this roller guide with it as well. I'm just barely pressing on the pedal right now, and I have full control of that.
Look at that, and it's a pretty stitch too.
Yep. I just switched it in here to for back tack as well. And that you can do midstream, switch it back to forward tacking. I'll pick up a little bit of speed as we go down here.
And just like the other two machines we looked at, got our stitch, we can set our stitch length.
Yep, correct. You can go bigger, smaller, depending on your project. And yeah.
So now, John, I noticed on this, we've got a cylinder arm, and that is a big help. Tell us why.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to slide something in here, maybe a hat patch or something like that, but it allows you access underneath this arm to be able to sew something.
Boy, that's a big help. You've got some good throat depth there. What's our distance between needle and machine there?
Yep, so from the inside here, it's 16.5 inches.
Nice. Boy, that is a nice machine.
Yep, sure is, Chuck.
John, so many options. Really appreciate you taking the time to show us around.
Absolutely, and for a full line of all of our sewing machines and other equipment, take a look at the website. Good to have you again, Chuck.
It's been a pleasure, man. Good luck with your projects.